Hey guys, Pat here. This is the second in a series of videos showing you how to create light plots in Vectorworks Spotlight 2018. In this video, I'm going to show you how to import in create lighting positions that we are going to eventually hang our digital lights on. So the first thing, now this ground plan does not have any lighting positions. Usually if you get a ground plan from a scene designer or from a producing organization, it will have lighting positions there already. But what we need to do is we need to create lighting positions that Vectorworks Spotlight will recognize and we will be able to use. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw a line, and I'm going to draw a line. Let's see. This is not a real theater, so I'm going to kind of decide how long my front of house position is going to be. So I'm going to draw a line. Let's see. This line is about 43 feet. I'm going to make this one 45 feet long. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to center it. Okay, I'm going to put it right about here. All right, so now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my Spotlight palette, and I'm going to find Lighting Pipe tool. I'm going to click Start, and double click to finish. So now what we have, I'm going to zoom in, and we have our lighting position. But right now all it is what Vectorworks calls it is a lighting pipe. Okay, it's just a set of lines and a set of, Vectorworks doesn't see it as a lighting position just quite yet. A lighting pipe is something you can create, but Vectorworks won't notice it as something you can hang lights on. So what we're going to do is it's all set up, and just so you know, these marks are all on 18-inch centers, because usually that's about as close as you would want to hang lights together. Any closer and they would be difficult to focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit, okay? And now I'm going to have our lighting pipe selected, and I'm going to come up to Spotlight, and there is a menu called Object Conversion, Convert to Hanging Position, and I'm going to call this position FOH. And do you want a symbol? Create a symbol from the selected geometry. Create symbol. I'm going to say always do this action. Okay. And now what it's done, now it's changed it into a hanging position, and it's given it a name, FOH. So now when we hang lights, it's going to snap to this, and those lights are automatically going to know where they're hung. So the only thing we need to do right now is right now this lighting pipe is laying on the floor, and we can tell that when we go up to our Z height over here. Okay, it's 0. That means it's laying on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this pipe some height. I'm going to give it a Z height, and I'm going to call it 20 feet. Now it's up in the air. Now we're good to go. So we have our front of house position created. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our onstage electrics based on this lighting position. So the first thing I'm going to do, so I make sure I get them in the right place, is if we look over here at our line set schedule, you see electric 1, electric 2, electric 3, electric 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line just straight off of, just so I know where to put these lighting positions that I just created. So I have those created. Okay. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll back down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this electric that I created, this front of house electric, and I'm going to drag and copy this up so it snaps to the line that I just drew. Now I'm going to center it because I'm anal retentive. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to nudge it down, hold down my shift key and hit the down arrow till it looks like it's in the center. Good. Now I'm going to just do the same thing. I'm going to drag and copy. And I'm going to nudge it. Drag and copy. And nudge. And the last one, drag and copy, and I'm going to nudge down. All right. Now I'm going to delete. I can delete these lines. I can come back. I'm going to zoom out, and then I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to look over here, and you can see that they're all labeled FOH, FOH, FOH. Well, we don't want that. We want to call them what they are. They are on-stage electrics. So all we have to do, it's easy to fix, and I can select the first one, and as you can see, it retains its Z height from where it was before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this electric 1, ELEC 1, and it changes it. I'm going to do the same thing for everybody else, ELEC 2, all right, ELEC 3, and ELEC 4. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is we are going to pop in our box boom, our side light positions, and get those in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out, and what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the top representation of these positions. So I'm going to have 4 side light booms, one here, one here, one here, and one over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to my resource manager, and I'm going to find my positions, and I'm going to pop in boom plan. I'm going to double click. I'm going to come down here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in right here. Click twice, excuse me. What I need to do, I forgot, is I have my I have layers for these. So what I'm going to do is first is this is my boom plan. I'm going to come up to my layer, and I'm going to click on boom top. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select make sure boom top is my current layer. So I have one in, and I'm going to name this right away. And all that entails is putting some text underneath it, and I'm going to call this is going to be boom 4. Okay, I'm going to move this just a little bit closer here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to select both of them. And I'm going to zoom out just a bit, and I'm going to drag the other one. Now I'm going to drag them around, so I'm going to put one is right here, and I'm going to call that boom 3. Boom 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use one of the fancy Vectorworks tricks, as you all know we like to do, is I'm going to select both these guys, and we're going to use our rotate, or our mirror command, sorry. Select everything, and we are going to mirror. There we go, we're going to mirror it on the center line. Now if I come over here, I'm going to see boom 3, which we are now going to change to boom 2. And we're going to change boom 4 to boom 1. Now the last thing we're going to do in this, we're going to put in, we have a couple cove positions. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to find in my resource manager cove plan. Okay, and the first one I'm going to put is right about here. I'm going to angle it just a little bit, and now I'm going to call that we're going to call that cove Cove stage left. Okay, and then we're going to, I'm going to zoom in and just place that a little bit better again because I am anal retentive. I'm going to put this guy right here. Okay. There we go. I'm going to select both of them, and we're going to mirror this guy as well. And we're just going to call this, zoom in and call this guy Cove stage right. All right. So I'm going to leave this video right here. I'm going to stop at this point. So in this video, I showed you how to put in to create electrics, to create lighting positions, to pop in the 2D plan views of our side light. And what I think I'm going to do before I leave is I'm going to drag this guy out just a touch. And what I'm going to do now is I don't need these guys to be quite so visible. So I'm going to come up here to my layer palette, and I'm going to make boom top. I'm going to make that gray, and then I'm going to click on focus points, because in our next video that's what we're going to do. So see you soon for putting in focus points.